Okay, back to me. Okay, so I had asked for, based on my colleague George's comments, he's very focused on legal fees, as he should be, and I had asked for some numbers so that we could go over what we're spending and what account the legal fees are coming from. And I guess I want everyone to know that when a town employee sues a member of the Board of Selectmen or sues in the town, the insurance company picks up the legal fees for that and the settlement for that. So that's how that works. I know there may be some confusion about maybe what was said in the past, but when there are instances in the town that require, whether they're labor issues, employment issues, personnel issues, those types of legal matters are referred to another attorney. In other words, Mr. Galvin himself does not handle those. And there's quite a bit of money being spent there. So I asked for, because I know that we budget for Mr. Galvin around $100,000 a year, correct? Okay. So I asked for some of the other legal fees that are being expended. And I didn't expect, to be honest with you, to see just under $100,000, I think it was $90,000, being spent on legal matters in the town. So when I received the information, I asked for the amount, and then I asked for the receipts. I noticed that a lot of it is in employment matters, and $25,000 of it was for the criminal investigation that took place, from what I can tell, going through the receipts. So we're right now almost double at our legal budget, and I think the taxpayers have a right to know what line item that's coming from and how that's being paid. And we also have a right to know, as the receipts say, why we're having a large amount of legal fees for issues that seem to be stemming from grievance activity, inappropriate conduct, those types of things. So I'll address my questions to Dennis. I think you're probably the only one here who can answer them, if you can.
Well, obviously this...
Can you pull the mic closer?
Yeah,
I got
sure.
a text, I can't hear you at home. Thank you.
Obviously my start date was February 11th, 2019, so the series of invoices presented, we looked for the current fiscal year to provide to the select woman. And I think in my experience so far, one of the things I said to the department heads, and I'll be saying to a lot of the boards, is that when we're making legal requests, they should come first to the town administrator's office, and then the town administrator's office can sort of manage the fees in a more prudent manner. And we can manage the requests in a more prudent manner. And so that's been communicated to department heads and will be communicated to sort of the various chairs of boards so that legal fees are managed. I think anytime you have a transition in the town administrator's office, there's additional need for legal advice during interim periods, and I think that stems from some of it, but I can't really comment on various decision-making practices before my time.
It seems like these are all from employee-related activity.
Clifford and Kenny is an employee specialist or labor relations specialist. So when the board appointed Galvin and Galvin in their appointment, they highlight that Clifford and Kenny would be retained as the labor counsel.
Can you tell me what line item these come out of? Do they come out of the town administrator's budget?
They come out of both the select board's budget. There's various accounts that they can come out of. So
it doesn't look like there's room in the select board's budget.
Right. There's also there's an unclassified account. There's the town administrator's account. So we could provide the account numbers where all the invoices were paid out of it. The select woman. So.
Is that the one that has the 1.4 million in it? I think.
There's one called 919 is sort of the grouping.
Okay. Is there any way you can make these along with the, I know did you put the snow online, by any chance?
I haven't. I need to.
Okay,
post
so
that.
is there any way you could make these invoices available online before town meeting?
I'll check with.
Because they are redacted.
Yes, they are redacted.
And that's fine, I understand that they have to have redactions, but I think that the people should know where the legal fees are being spent, and that we're probably going to go over our double our budget for legal
Yeah,
fees.
I mean, these documents are public right now because the select board has them, we're discussing them. And they're
With all due respect, being public and being accessible to the public are two very different things. As I said, I asked a month ago for this last meeting for the snow, and it's not up there yet, and people are asking about it. So they should be clearly identified, they should be linked, and people should be able to look at them. People should be able to ask questions about the legal fees, because we are moving in a direction where we're spending a lot of money, and you heard me last agenda item, I think we're going to be spending more on legal fees. But I appreciate you answering those questions.
Yeah. And I also would like to sort of reiterate that as we build the new website, which we're currently undergoing, so we're maintaining an old website and a new website that we're developing, that I think a new website will be better better suited to post the type of public documents that you're typically requesting. We can create a document center, create folders in a sub-document center that would be able to provide links. So as documents are requested, you could.
If I could, I guess I'm just concerned, because when I asked if you wanted the attorneys here to be able to answer any of these questions, you refused. So if you'd like to put this back on the agenda for the attorneys to come and actually answer any questions, both for you and any other members of the board, I think that's probably a good idea.
I think probably you misunderstood my intent.
I must have.
My intent was always the cost and what's driving the cost, as it is with many issues that I discuss on this board.
But I think that the attorneys could better answer some of these questions for members of the board, because they're going to know what they can say, what they can't say, versus Dennis sort of trying to be a little bit more cautious. And they're going to have an idea about the time that they're spending, which departments, what they can say publicly, what they can't.
And I would, to their defense, I think they are trying to be as transparent as possible about the issues that they're covering on the invoices. So it's not like they're giving us one lines that they're spending $20,000 on one line. They're
Right.
pretty detailed bills.
I guess that's my biggest thing, is if we're going to sit and talk about attorneys' fees and where they're going, I would like to have the attorneys here to be able to answer those questions. I'm going to take George,
Sure.
because he's had his hand up.
So obviously, being in the workforce, there's always been grievances and whatnot throughout the work field for years and years, so I don't know. This has obviously been going on for a long time. Is there a spike? I don't know, because we don't have the past history of how many claims have been with other attorneys that have represented the town. And going back to what you said at the beginning, Caroline, with the insurance covering it, they do cover it up until the point where, since it's public record, the person that did supposedly is getting additional money onto the salary, I believe $20,000. So if she's employed for the next 20 years, that's $400,000 that the residents are paying on top of the retirement. So there is insurance, and then there's a piece that the taxpayers do pick up from the behavior of the select board members that did get sued. So the insurance company does pick up some, but then again, the residents pick up the other 10.
Shelley, I actually reached out to the attorneys at the insurance company and asked them about a matter that involved the selectmen. There was a large settlement, just under $1 million. And I had asked them a series of questions. And, I mean, we've never had a criminal investigation before, George. That's right now at 25 grand. Who knows what that's going to go to? We don't know. That could easily exceed 400K, legal fees build up. So, it's not, I think it's misleading.
Could you please be careful to what you're inferencing?
This public record, he just said
it is public record,
yeah.
But the way you're talking is leading the public to believe something, that you're leading people down a road. So all I'm asking is that you be mindful of your comments.
Thank you for that remark. I am just saying what, there's people asking for public records. We're told there's a current investigation and they can't be provided, which I understand completely. But these can be provided, and they were provided, and they are, as you just said, public documents.
We have had questions, we have had FOIA requests for minutes for one specific meeting that this board, under advice of counsel, has said you cannot release.
I understand.
I would love to release those minutes. Unfortunately, we have been advised not to.
And I respect that.
By counsel.
And I respect that.
And you know why, because you were there.
Madam Chairwoman, I'm not asking for minutes. I'm not asking for the Mueller report. I'm simply asking for information to be provided to the public.
You have asked for
so
minutes.
they can review it and they can know where their money is being spent. My intention, and I hope it's very clear, is not with the attorneys. They're going to bill their attorneys. Is for the general public to have the transparency to know where their money is being spent. That was my intention when I asked for it. That was my intention with the snow. And I can't seem to ever get these documents online for the public to view, despite the website. I don't care about the website. I want a link when you click to the home page that says snow-related cost. And I want receipts. I don't want a spreadsheet. I don't care about spreadsheets. Anyone can make a spreadsheet. And they should be there. Legal fees. And people should be able to look. And if you want to bring the attorneys in and you have questions for them, bring them in. But my concern is the cost and the general public having that knowledge before town meeting. And I've made that clear, and I'm going to say it again. That's my full intention. And that's why I want it out there, and that's why I placed it on the agenda. And I appreciate you placing it on the agenda, as well as the other items. And pretty much that's, where I'm going with it. So if you could just send me an email when the snow and ice is up and when the legal fees are up, I'd appreciate that. And it's getting close to town meeting, so
yeah, I think your last request on April 9th was for backup to the snow materials, and I sent the spreadsheet out that had the line items for the costs. And then there's a subsequent conversation for the receipts. I've called the Department of Public Works, and they're more than willing to provide the receipts for the snow materials and supplies. And then, well, we will post it online. I mean, my only concern is, we should limit the amount of invoices we're posting online, because it is labor intensive to scan them and get them up there, and the amount of work just processing invoices just for payments is labor intensive. And if we're trying to start to post them online, that's my only concern. I certainly agree that the snow and ice will be posted. I've said they will be posted.
Shelley, I understand that it's labor intense, and I'm sorry that it is labor intense, but at some point we have to take steps. I say it all the time, I'm a trust but verified person. My managers always sent me spreadsheets. I don't want them. I want to see where we're spending it. And the only way to see it, as with the legal fees, is right on the receipts. Okay. It's the only way to see it. When you get a report, in an Excel spreadsheet, a human being is preparing that report, probably from the department that you're asking the information from. So how, whether it's you, right. Bottom line is people should be able to substantiate this, and they should be able to see it. And it's really not a lot to ask for. These are not, I'm not asking for every receipt in town. These are items that are above and beyond what we budget for. So they're going to have to be transfers. And I think when that happens, those are anomalies. And I think when that happens, a town should substantiate it. It's just pretty basic. And that's all I'm asking for, Madam Chairwoman. Thank you.
Back a few years ago when our town attorney retired, I do believe it was the board at the time decided to go with this more of a firm style, and we knew that the cost was going to go up from paying one salary to getting better legal counsel with a firm. So if I recall back, that was a previous board that voted for this. As far as the receipts and everything like that, and correct me if I'm wrong, I know that we pay our town accountant really good money to keep those receipts and pay our bills I know personally from trying to, get a refund, I have to pretty much give a DNA sample. So
We're waiting for that DNA.
So I don't think there's, and as far as the snow and ice, I do agree that, we should have something online. I think it was just 2 weeks ago that we talked about this, and that I thought we decided that we was going to wait until we got the new website.
No, I think the intention was that it would be up there before town meeting, with the understanding that there was overages in the snow budget this year, and the select woman thought it was a good idea to allow everyone to see where the money was spent, and I agree. So,
and luckily we're not luckily, but we are over, but we've been a lot worse in years. So I agree that we are privy to seeing these invoices and all this stuff. I don't know that my neighbor wants to go through all that. Maybe he or she does, but I think if they're public and in our packet, that the people would be able to request it if they wanted to see something specific. That's just my I trust in the fact that our attorneys, our town accountant, our town administrator are doing right by us. And I like your little lingo there, trust and verify. But I think we do that on a regular basis. So that's all I have to say.
Shelley, thank you for the compliment and thank you for the feedback, Amy. I appreciate that. And Galvin's fees are actually down. It's not Galvin. It's the labor stuff. It's the investigation stuff. It's not Galvin. And as far as when you're citing a snow deficit on the budget, I think of 152, right? And 140 of that is supplies, and it's unsubstantiated. As I said, these aren't items that we budget for. I'm certainly not going to ask. I mean, maybe there's someone out there that will, but I'm not going to ask for every receipt in town. But when there's an anomaly and a variance in a budget, I'm going to ask for it to be substantiated, because I just think that's good government. I don't think it's not personal. It has nothing to do with anyone's position. It's just, I kind of see my role that way, and I'm kind of comfortable in my role that way, and I like doing things that way. This way here, there's never any question. The other items that are normally budgeted, that are there, staying within their budget, look, last year we had all that free cash. That was great. You didn't see me asking for a lot of things, but I did ask for the snow, didn't I? Because it was an anomaly. So that's kind of where I'm coming from on it. It's not in any way to have any ill will with people or make people feel bad. It's just kind of doing my job.
I don't take it like that.
Yeah.
Neither do I.
So I feel like you asked for it, you got it. When I went through these bills for Clifford and Kenny, the majority of them are HR, police, fire. So, I'm okay with what's happening and that the town is being protected. Again, I agree that, people want to see where the dollars are going, and we ask them for a lot of money at town meeting, and I agree. But I think if this is a little much for me for making this available. That's just my opinion.